What is going on, everybody? Southern Star Dude back here again. And, you know, I want to say that I'm pretty proud of myself, man. I've been getting a lot of new subscribers here lately, and I just wanted to say that for all my new subscribers, thank you for joining in on this channel. And to all my existing subscribers, or if you're just watching this video just to learn more about the Navy, or if you are watching this channel to learn more about the stuff that I talk about, feel free to ask questions, man. I'm trying to be as interactive as possible with all of you. And this video is going to be a reply on a question that I got about 4 days ago, and I'm sorry that I didn't answer your question, right off the bat. I've been trying to take care of some stuff. So the question was, what do I do in the Navy? What is my job? What is my rate? So it's a simple yet complicated question. Simple by saying, this is what I do. I am an AD. I'm an aviation machinist mate. Not to be confused with the machinist mates. I'm an aviation machinist mate, which means that for all the aircraft in the Navy, the ADs work on the power plants in the drivetrain. So we're talking about engines, transmissions, gearboxes, accessory modules, and stuff like that. There are different platforms. There are 53s, which are some big-ass helicopters. There are H-60s, which are smaller helicopters. There are all kinds of fixed-wing aircraft. I happen to be helos. I work on the HS-60 Sierra, which is a model of the H-60. Now, there are more than a few of them, some of them being phased out. There are the Foxtrot, Bravo, Sierra, and the Hector, I think. I think there are 5 models. The Sierras, our main mission as an H-60 Sierra is CSAR, SAR, and vertical rep. If you don't know what vertical rep is, it is vertical replenishment, also known as vert rep. So pretty much what we do is we take cargo from one ship and bring it over to another. That is vertical replenishment. We take stuff from like a supply ship and we bring it to a carrier, or we bring it to a destroyer or something of that nature. Now, like I said, I'm an aviation machinist mate, so I am not in the helicopter or on the boat itself. I am actually in a hangar working on this aircraft. Day-to-day basis, it's all about corrosion. These aircraft, especially when you're in saltwater environments or desert environments, there is a lot of corrosion. Saltwater corrodes everything, whether it be buildings, vehicles, aircraft, you name it, it corrodes. So we deal with a lot of corrosion gripes on a day-to-day basis, whether it be water washes, engine water washes, wash downs, rust, that's a big thing, or corrosion on the skin of the aircraft. Now, I've only been in the Navy since last July is when I shipped off, and I went through both schools, A school and C school. I went through, if you're an aviation rate, you are going to Pensacola for A school. That is a given. All the aviation rates go through there. Aviation bosun's mates, machinist mates like me, aviation machinist mates like me, framers, AOs, air crewmen, all those aviation rates go through Pensacola. Now, after that, it's kind of like a 50-50 shot. I went through C school in Jacksonville, Florida, for about a month and a half, and then I went to my first duty station, which is here on Guam. You learn a lot in those two schools. In A school is pretty much the basics of your rate. That's when you decide whether you want to go helos or jets or turboprops. If you're lucky enough to get an option for a turboprop, I would highly suggest that, because I haven't met anybody in the Navy that is an aviation machinist mate for a turboprop engine, which I think is, it's cool in a sense that, not a lot of whole people do it, and there are still a lot of aircraft using the turboprop engine. But I work on turbo shaft, in this case a helo. The main rotor is driven by a shaft that comes from the engine, the power plant. My squadron, HSC 25, we provide a lot. I mean, it's pretty difficult to get stuff done out here because, one, the salt water is all around us. It corrodes everything. It's hard to get parts because we're on a jungle in the middle of the ocean. So we make do with what we have, and in doing that, we've been one of the best squadrons in the HSC community in the Navy for, I think, the past 5 years. So I'm proud to be part of this family. If you are planning on joining the Navy, or if you're interested in the Navy, I wouldn't say go for it, but I wouldn't say, don't do your research. I talked to everybody before I left, Marines, Army, Air Force, Navy, National Guard. I talked to everybody. And for me, the Navy had the best choice. For me, the Navy was the best choice, so I went with the Navy. So if you really want to know anything, the one piece of advice I can give you is do your research. All the branches of the military have their own website. Army has their own website. I think Army has an app on their phone, on your phone. I think Navy does too. But if not, if they don't, you can just go to Navy.mil or Army.mil or something of that nature. It'll pull up their own personal company website or whatever. You can click around on there and figure out which one's the best for you. But I would still say go talk to a recruiter. And with recruiters, it's kind of a hit or miss because some of them are pretty good. Like my Navy recruiter was he was amazing. Kind of annoying at times, but that's what they're there for. My Army recruiter, on the other hand, he was kind of a shitbag. He didn't really do anything. I had to join the Army myself. Technically, you're only supposed to, he's supposed to do everything or she's supposed to do everything for you. Get everything set up. That way, all you have to do is pick a job, sign your contract up with MEPS, and then get shipped out. But, in the Army, or for me, my experience with the Army recruiter was a little bit different. And unfortunately, he didn't give me everything that I wanted, so I ended up going to the Navy, and they gave me pretty much everything that I wanted as far as a job that would give me a good base, a good foundation to restart if I decide to get out and work in the civilian world again. So I'm very grateful for that. But like I said, there are literally hundreds of rates in the Navy, hundreds of jobs. You could be surface, which is being on a ship. You could be squadron, which is what I am, where you're on both. You're on the shore and you're on a ship. It all kind of depends. You got to ask around. You can't just, do this thing on the fly. You actually have to think about it, because if you want something but you're too afraid to speak up about it, you're going to get put somewhere that you don't want to be. As far as job availabilities right now, I don't know. That's why I would say go talk to a recruiter, because even though you say you want this particular job, you have the qualifications for it as far as your ASVAB score and all that good stuff, there is a chance that that job may not be available that day, which is what I went through when I was signing up for the Navy. The job that I wanted, which was an aviation machinist mate, wasn't available, so I ended up being in the DEP program for almost 10 months until my job became available. And as soon as it was, I went up to MEPS that day, signed my contract, and the next thing you know, 30 days later, I was in Great Lakes, Chicago. But like I said, you know, I work with a bunch of rates. I work with AEs, AMs, AOs. You know, there's too many to list, to be honest. So, you know, if you want to learn more, I mean, like I said before, do your research. Go talk to people. If you don't like talking to people, then maybe the military is not the best thing for you, because you're going to talk to people all the time. All the time. I can't tell you how many people I talk to in a day. Right? And technically, I'm not even doing my job yet. I'm still getting qualified to do my job. And it's kind of complicated with the qualifications thing. It's a lot to explain, but if you decide to go into the Navy, if you want to do like a one-on-one thing, and I sit down with you and explain a couple of the things that you may not understand, you know, just, you know, comment down below, and I will, you know, try my best, my utmost to get you the answers that you're looking for. The time change is kind of different here. Right now it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm pretty sure in the States it's going to be like 8 or 9 at night, 10 o'clock at night, I think. I think we're 16 hours ahead, 16 or 18. But nonetheless, you know, hit me up and I'll try my best, all right? So if you have any more questions about the Navy or about the military in general, about what I do, you know, just let me know down in the comments below. You know, like this video, subscribe if you're just watching, and I appreciate every single one of you. So that being said, Southern Style Dipper out again, man.